back to another episode of Braddock's Garage. Today's video, we're going to be tackling the heater box. This is something I took apart before I injured my arm, which, can you see that? Yeah. Which, it's pretty much better now. But anyway, so I took this box apart before my surgery, and it's just been sitting here. So it's time to get back at it because there's a lot of parts and pieces to it, and I'm afraid if I keep them sitting around any longer, then I'm going to lose them. So, you know, better now than never. Let's get into it. All right, so here we go. We've got our two different halves here. This half is from my car. It kind of fell apart. Here's the upper half of it. I mean, it's busted. I don't think there's any saving that. So I sourced another one from a '68 Cougar, and it was in much better shape. Still needs work, but in much better shape. So out of these two units, this one is from my car, this one is from the Cougar. The Cougar heater box, you can see in there, see all that cracking in the fiberglass right there around that flange. It's pretty bad, but otherwise it's okay everywhere else. It still has the drain hole, so mine does not. And my original thinking was I was going to use the upper half of mine, the lower half of the Cougars, put them together and have one decent unit. Only problem is that these halves are clamped together from the factory, wherever they're made, and they stay like that for 50 some odd years until somebody like me comes along and tries to repair them. Well, when that happens, that half is formed to this box, that half is formed to this box. If you try to mix and match them, they don't really line up so well. And to get it to fit, you would have to force it. And it's fiberglass, it's old fiberglass. It's not gonna work. So, what I'm gonna do is take my original, set it off to the side, because I'm not gonna use it. And even though this one is a little more work, I'm gonna repair it with fiberglass. Bondo brand fiberglass. You can buy it at your parts store, wherever you're at. So I've already scraped out all the dirt, crud. Now I need to stabilize that area right there because we have to wash this and clean it. So that's what I'm going to do next. All right, so the best way I'm going to do this is I've got a bunch of metal strips that I've already cut and drilled. I'm going to hold them together with screws, and I'm just going to put them strategically out throughout this break right here, just to keep it together because it's damn near about to fall off as it is. So let me get my drill bits. And while I'm doing this, I don't know if you guys have seen yet, but over my recovery period, I hit 100 subscribers. I'm actually at 105 as of today. That is awesome. Can't tell you how thankful I am for that. So each and every one of you, thank you. All right. So I don't know how well you're going to be able to see this. I know it seems counterproductive to drill holes in something you're about to repair, fiberglass, but gotta be done. And during the repair, we're going to keep these straps here because we need to hold the fiberglass in place while we're doing our repair. I'm sure a lot of you are wondering why I'm even doing this in the first place when companies like ACP make brand new units where all you have to do, pretty much put your cores in it, you know, your heater core and your evaporator, and pretty much install it. And that's the smart thing to do, but that is not what I'm doing. Don't ask me why. I'm a glutton for punishment. But I'm not going to bore you too long with this. I mean, this is, you know, drill some holes, bolt it down, drill some holes, bolt it down. But I want to give you the idea of what I'm doing here, in case you ever want to tackle it on your own. You can see right there, that's what I'm going to do all the way around. And I'm going to take it inside, wash it off with some soap and water, get this all clean, and start prepping for fiberglass. So we'll be right back. All right, so as you can see, I've gone ahead and put my straps on, and that's the big major piece I want to tackle first. So I'm not going to worry about straps in any of the other places, like right here, or well, like right there. Well, really, I don't really need straps right there. I just need to put a V-groove in it and fill it with epoxy and whatnot. But before I wash it, and against my better judgment, I am going to remove all the bracketry with the rivets. A lot of people will tell you not to do this, especially in the forums, because they're hard to get back in. I have done some research and come across this little tool right here. It's not the best in the world, and there's lack of tolerance there. But you know, this is a rivet installation tool, and I think it's actually for the hobbyists who rebuild like Tonka trucks to put the rivets back in the bodies, if I'm not mistaken. But I'm gonna give it a shot on these and see what happens. Now, the factory rivets, like you can see right here, those are steel, and on the back side, if you can see that, they've got this sort of star pattern to disperse the load across the fiberglass. That's called a splash. I can't find a tool for that. I mean, there is one in the leather making world for riveting, you know, belts and saddles and whatnot. But that's more like a punch. So I'm gonna give it a shot with just some rivets that came with the tool, like these, which actually none of the heads are correct. They're not big enough. But I was able to source these rivets right here. These are aluminum, not steel. And I got these from JC Rivet Sales, I believe it is. These were the closest I could find to factory style rivets. Like I said, except they're aluminum. But the head is almost exactly the same. It's a dome shaped head, and it's a little bit longer than I wanted, but I couldn't get them any shorter. So, you know, I might experiment with these a little bit, play around with them, see what happens. You know, if I don't like it, they're aluminum, so they'll come off easily. But anyway, let's take the brackets off. Alright, so I got this piece washed. Now we're gonna let it dry. Looks pretty good though. I don't know if you saw it in the time lapse. I think it's a time lapse. I knocked that piece out right there. It had some sort of epoxy or something holding the bracket on, and it pretty much just ripped right off. But we'll take care of that. So, yep, we're gonna let that sit there and dry. The metal collar is in my Evapor Rust. So we're gonna let that sit, and we'll come back to it when everything's ready. So here's the top flange for the AC box, and like I said, I let that soak in Vapor Rust for about 24 hours. Came out looking nice. Washed it off and hit it with a Scotch-Brite pad just to give it some tooth. And yeah, looks pretty good. I'm gonna hit it with some SEM self-etching primer and probably call it good. The box is dried and we're about ready to start fiberglass on that. All right, so now that the box is dry and clean, we're gonna hit it with our sander here and just clean up these rough spots where all the cracking is, because that's where we'll need to put our resin and fiber matting. Yeah, and then after that, we can move on to applying our tape. Okay guys, so the fiberglass dried up really well from last night. I was pleased with it. So I cleaned up the rest of the crack a little bit more and laid more fiberglass matting down on it. So I'll let that cure for another 24 hours. And then I might have to come back on the back side of the crack or inside the case and hit it again right there, but it won't be very much. Either way, you'll see the process as I go along with it. So let me show you what I did. So here we go. So if you notice, I had a big old crack right there. You can actually see it. That's all backed with aluminum tape. Looks kind of janky right now, but it actually cleans up pretty well when you run 60 grit over it. Knock all that height off. You can see that was a repair from last night. I've got to remark that hole and drill it to the correct size for the little plastic bushings that the flappers ride on, like this one right here. So I'll have to drill that out so that can go in there. But the rest of it, you can see that spot I did last night. So that's actually dry. But I had to overlap new matting onto it. And there's the other crack I did today. That was a repair from last night. Came out pretty nice. Solid. And then all up through here. All right guys, so my fiberglass repairs have completely cured. They should have, because it's been probably 5 days since I actually did them. I've even started to sand them a little bit just to make sure they were solid. They are. So let me show you where we're at with it. Okay, so I've made my repairs. You can see the insides right there. You can see light through there. I actually opened that crack up a little bit so I could get the resin down into it to make for a solid repair. I've gone over my holes either with fiberglass or JB Weld, as you can see right there. So that big hole I had right there, you can see I filled that in. It's a little high, so I'll need to sand that down as best as I can. You can see I've already drilled my holes into it, so I wouldn't lose my marks after sanding. Drilled that hole. I drilled that hole right there, and that one right there. And you can also see where I've also started sanding a little bit. Just trying to see how well the repair did, and I'm pleased with it. You can see right there. I got to get in here with a smaller sanding device, but you can see right there. So it came out pretty well. Before I forget, before you start sanding on fiberglass, make sure you wear the proper PPE, because you don't want to be inhaling this stuff. So respirator, and normally I would wear long sleeves, but it's hot, and I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to suck it up and itch like hell for the next 24 hours. But I'll also have a fan right there blowing across the work area, so it should keep the dust off of me. So yeah, protect yourself before you wreck yourself. Anybody else's face itchy? Mine is. All right, here she is. Came out pretty nice. Everything leveled out really well. I tried to dress the corners as best as I could, keep them sharp. even hit the rest of the box with the sander. But don't know if you can see that little Fomoco right there. I saved that. I didn't want to sand over it. But yeah, came out pretty good. See the inside of the box right there. That was where the JB Weld was. And all that was the plastic bonder. That's what I used. I mean, this is thermoplastic, plastic bonder, so yeah, it should work. It will work, I know it will. So anyway, I'm pleased with it. And you know, that's Bondo fiberglass repair kit, you know? I know Bondo gets a bad name, but you know, they do make some pretty good products. So give it a shot if you've got a busted HVAC box or heater box. I've still got the other half to repair down here. So although this one is not as bad as the piece we just did, I gotta find some way to save that. I guess I just won't sand it. Well, you can see the cracks right there. They need attention right there. But I probably won't film that part because it's pretty much the same process over again. I've also got some of the bracketry in my Evapo-Rust, world's greatest liquid. That's been sitting in there for about 3 days now. Didn't really need to go in to begin with, but I put everything in it. So I'll clean all those up, get those painted, and that'll be on the reassembly portion of this video. All right, so I got the piece all cleaned up and sitting on the stand. I'm gonna hit it with some sandable primer. So let me show you what we're working with. So here it is, ready to go. Cleaned it up with some SEM paint prep solvent. What you didn't see was I actually hit it with 320 as well. The first time I hit it was with 80 grit, just to knock down the high areas, and then 320 to smooth it all out. So it's looking good. It's ready for some paint. So let's do it. All right, so I let the primer dry and then I hit it with some Krylon Satin Black. It actually looks pretty good. I was just kind of testing it, but I think I like it. It's not overly shiny. I mean, it's still kind of wet right now, so it's a little glossy, but yeah, that's probably a better representation right there. It's kind of splotchy. Mainly where I sanded it, but also it would look like that from the factory too. So, I don't know. What do you think? Turn out okay? All right, so here's the one half of the upper case that I've completed. I originally sprayed it with a semi-gloss black. It did not look great once it dried. It was all splotchy. I mean, it's still splotchy, but it's less splotchy now that I've sprayed it with trim black, SEM. So I'm much happier with how that turned out. And I'm gonna do the same thing to this piece right here. This one doesn't have that many repairs that need to be made to it, but right here around the flange will need to be fixed. Right there, definitely. So I've already rubbed this down with Scotch-Brite pad, washed it off, so I'm ready to start on it. All right, so I got the other half of the case finished. It's all fiberglassed up, sanded down with 80 grit and then 320. I drilled holes, almost all of the holes I need to drill. I'm gonna save these right here for when I put the evaporator in That way I know they're in the exact location. But otherwise, everything turned out nice. So we'll start on the next part. Hey guys, thanks for joining me on this video. Stick around for part 2, which is where we'll be assembling that case and getting it back to working order. Also, I'll do another video, sort of like a version 2.0 or 2.1 or yeah, 2.1 I guess, of the heater blower box as well. Disassembling and cleaning and reassembly of that. So stick around, hope you enjoyed it, and we'll get it done.